Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Won't get it. Ryan dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryan, Vanderjack up fake. Launches a three. Good. Oh my goodness. Out to the point. Rosema. Innocent space. Shot scores. 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 unanswered. On, giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. It is game night on Michigan Sports Radio, and welcome to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. And it is also senior night here at Vanderslice Gymnasium. We start a special edition of the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show tonight, as we will be bringing you coverage of Grandville senior night in just a moment, when we'll send it down courtside and take it down to those festivities, as we'll be honoring the class of 2023 for the Bulldogs, who are coming off such a huge win, a monumental win. You can also say last time out on Friday. Again, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and CTO would start there. What a win for the Bulldogs, and what a chance to carry momentum in the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, tremendous way to close out the OK Red season for the Bulldogs. A big rivalry win over Rockford on Friday night. Able to avenge their loss earlier in the season to the Rams and play one of their better basketball games of the season to close that out. Of course, got a couple non-conference here this week before the regular season wraps up.
It is senior night, but there is a basketball game tonight of course as well. It's Thornapple-Kellogg finally coming to Grandville. I feel like we've been going to TK for like 6 straight years to close the regular season. Finally, the Trojans come here, and this is a team under Coach Thaler that's in a little bit of a rebuild and a transition year. 2-18 during the season, 2 wins within the tough OK Gold Conference as well. This is a team, most notably, they lost their best player, Terrell Jefferson, to Northview in a transfer before the start of the season. So that all kind of put them in a difficult spot. We're going to turn it back around. We're going to send it down onto the mic, and we are going to go to the senior night festivities here on the Bates Agency pregame show.
It is with great pleasure to honor and thank you for the dedication and support to Grandville over the years. And now, presenting our 2022-2023 boys basketball seniors, number 10, Will Schultz. Will is accompanied by his parents, Matt and Jess Schultz. Will is currently undecided on his collegiate plans for next year, but his top choices include Hope College and Northwestern University. Will's favorite basketball memory was the Cedar Point trip and any other time spent hanging out with his teammates. His message to underclassmen: always give your best effort and try your hardest. Dive on every loose ball and grab every rebound. You can't always control your ability, but you can always control how hard you work. Number 10, Will Schultz. Our next senior, number 22, Connor O'Mara. Connor is accompanied by his parents, Kathy and Sean. Connor plans to pursue a degree in construction management or sales beginning next year. Connor's favorite team memory was when the team went to Hard Rock Cafe and Drew was getting upset because his food was taking forever while Landon and I got cut over our apple comedy reserve. Connor's message to underclassmen: never stop trying, because you will never grow from failure if you give up. You have to get back up and keep on working on something, because life is going to hit you hard sometimes. But to be successful, you can't let life hold you down. Number 22, Connor O'Mara. Our next senior, number 11, Ryder Hayden. Ryder is accompanied by his parents, Spencer and Heather. Ryder's favorite team memory was freshman year, beating undefeated East Kent at home to finish the season with a 15-4 record. Ryder plans on attending Grand Rapids Community College next fall to begin pursuing a degree in business. His message to underclassmen is that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called present. Number 11, Ryder Hayden. senior, number 14, Nate Summers. Nate is accompanied by his parents, Steve and Amy. Nate's favorite team memory was visiting Washington, D.C. for the team this season. Next year, Nate plans on attending Central Michigan University to study education and sports management. Nate's message to underclassmen is slow down and enjoy every high school experience you have. Get involved in everything you can and make the most of it. It really does go by fast. Number 14, Nate Summers. Next up, our senior number 4, Drew Hungerford. Drew is accompanied by his parents, Tom and Amy. Next year, Drew plans on attending Michigan State, where he will pursue a degree in engineering. Drew's favorite team memory was the DC trip this past winter. His message for all underclassmen: slow down and embrace all the fun moments because they go by so fast. Number 4, Drew Hungerford. Our next senior, number 5, Logan Stockwell. Logan is with his dad, Lucas, and his grandmother, Renee. Logan is currently undecided on his collegiate plans for next year, but he plans to continue his basketball career. Logan's favorite basketball memory was going to Cedar Point and riding Millennium Force 9 times in a row. Logan's goal for underclassmen is it's about the journey, not the destination. Number 5, Logan Stockwell. Our next senior, number 2, Quentin Hendrickson. Quentin is accompanied by his parents, Angie and Steve. Next year, Quentin plans on attending Michigan State University with the goal of pursuing a degree in engineering. Quentin's favorite basketball memory was the win on the road last year at East Campbell. His message to underclassmen is: get ready for the 6 a.m. practices because that's what Des lives by, so they aren't ever going to stop. Number 2, Quentin Hendrickson. And our final senior tonight, number 0, Tyson Mann. Tyson is accompanied by his parents, Dan and Beth Ann. Tyson is currently undecided on his collegiate plans for next year, but he was planning to continue his basketball career. Tyson's favorite team memory were the trips to Cedar Point in Washington, D.C. this season. Tyson's message for underclassmen: stick with it and trust the process, even when it's hard. Embrace the moments with your team and make the most of your time together because it goes by way too fast. Number 0, Tyson. Seniors, it's been an incredible ride. Let's continue this as long as we can, taking it one day at a time. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication to the program for the last 4 years. The memories we have all shared will last a lifetime. As you embark on your new journey, we look forward to watching you all continue to grow into outstanding young men. If I can leave you all with one more piece of advice, just remember: win the day and end all your days with a positive. Thank you, Coach Dennis. Thanks again to our 2022-2023 boys basketball seniors.
My favorite memory is probably when I got surprised with a jersey last year and got to dress.
My favorite memory was last year when I had my junior debut at EK. You know, I popped off with the stands, fans. Let's go.
My favorite memory is carpooling to all the summer and fall league games with the boys and making memories in the cars. My favorite memory is going to all the summer league games and going to Cedar Point for the weekend.
My favorite memory is on the way home from Washington, D.C., the van's wheel fell off, like the axle broke, and I was in a different car, and we just drove past it and watched all the kids sit there on the side of the highway while I got to go home.
My favorite memory is our trip to D.C. We got to go to the Wizards game, and at the end of it, we got to meet Kyle Kuzma, and yeah.
My favorite memory is dancing in the locker room after every game we win. My favorite memory is when we played East Kentwood at home. It was the craziest basketball game I think I ever played in my life. It was back and forth, and then eventually we did win. And it was on a Friday night, so it was really loud, and it was a ton of fun.
I'm still holding on to everything that's dead and gone. I don't wanna say goodbye, 'cause this one means forever. Now you're in the stars, and 6 feet's never felt so far. Here I am alone between the heavens and the embers. Oh, it hurts so hard for a million different reasons you took.
All right, CT, and thanks to the Grandville boys basketball account for that video recollections. Obviously, players now out warming up, but let's take a step back from the game first, and let's continue our senior night coverage here tonight on the Bates Agency pregame show. This senior class, obviously, this is the group that as juniors started out with what was a little bit older team last year for Coach Young, but a lot of these pieces returned. This year, you can talk about Mann, Hendrickson, Stockwell being in the starting lineup, Haight, Hungerford in the rotation, Summers and O'Mara as well, and Schultz coming off the bench in a deeper role as well. Just kind of some of your thoughts on this senior class for the Bulldogs and what you think they've meant to this program. Obviously, going to the district championship last year, they certainly have got a great chance to do so again this year. Just kind of some of your thoughts on this senior class.
Yeah, they've been tremendous for this Grandville basketball program. I think the way they've been able to develop as players and also the program has been huge. When you look at these are now players that are spending their varsity careers under Coach Young, and kind of the part of the culture that he's been trying to change and get the community around here fired up about the basketball program. They've been a huge part of that, from the improvement in terms of record this season to competing for right there at the top of the OK Red all season long this year, and getting into the spot where they've in a good spot to make another push in the postseason. I think you see the development all the way around.
All right, that'll do it for our senior night coverage. We have a basketball game. What we're going to do now is we're going to reset the broadcast, turn it around, go to the MHSAA This Week report, about 5 minutes or so, a little bit more. We will be back to restart the basketball portion because we got a lot to get to here in the Bates Agency pregame show. Breaking this one down, Grandville looking to keep momentum going. Got a really tough game Thursday as well before the playoffs start. We know the playoff picture, by the way. We'll talk about that more, and then what Thornapple-Kellogg can do to try to steal a win tonight on senior night for the Bulldogs. So with that, we are going to quickly step aside once more, and when we come back, let's reset things on the other side of the MHSAA This Week report with a lot more to get to.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
An amazing streak continues on the wrestling mat, and we're less than a week away from the start of a revamped hockey tournament. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. The MHSAA Ice Hockey Tournament bracket is set, and you'll notice some changes from last year's bracket. This year, the entire tournament is seeded using MPR. Each of the 3 divisions contains 8 regions with up to 8 teams in a region. The highest seeded team in a region will play the lowest seeded team, and so on. Last year, only the top 2 teams in each region were seeded. Also new this year, the teams will be reseeded following the quarterfinals. The Ice Hockey Seeding Committee will take all 4 semifinalist teams and reseed them 1 through 4. The 1 seed will play the 4, the 2 seed will play the 3, with the winners meeting in the finals. Last year, there was no reseeding at the semifinal level. The way divisions are broken up this year is also new. Standalone and co-op programs will be rank ordered by enrollment, but on separate lists. The top 1/3 from each list will make up Division 1, the middle third from each will be Division 2, and the bottom third from each list will comprise Division 3. This change is expected to rebalance the divisions, as Division 1 had been primarily made up of co-op teams in the past. Staying the same from past years, a coin flip will determine the home team for each game. The first regional games will drop the puck on February 20th. The semifinals are March 9th and 10th, with the finals on Saturday, March 11th. All of the semifinals and finals action from USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth will be available on the NFHS Network and the MHSAA Championship Radio Network. For brackets, scores, and more, be sure to check out MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to Davison's Greg Lawson. The sophomore tallied a triple-double, 32 points, 12 assists, and 11 rebounds, and a 5-overtime win over Flint Hamady. The 94-90 victory came in the Cardinal Classic Final. To the Gibraltar Carlson competitive cheer team, who knocked off 3-time reigning Division II state champion Allen Park on way to the championship of the Downriver League. And to the Holt wrestling team, they captured their 37th straight district title. Yes, 37 in a row by knocking off Grand Ledge in the finals. The last time Holt failed to win a wrestling district title, 1986, when That's What Friends Are For was the #1 song.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
We are in the pool today, nearing the end of our 100-yard freestyle race. To finish a race and record a time, a swimmer can either touch the touchpad or the finish end, i.e. the wall around the touchpad. If the touchpad is contacted in a time recorded, great, that's all the officials need. But what happens if I hit the touchpad and the time doesn't stop? Or if I touch the wall just above the touchpad? In these instances, the officials go to a backup timer, and the backup timer for that swimmer will be used as their race time. The backup timer operates for all races, but is only used in the event of a touchpad malfunction or a swimmer hitting the finish end. A majority of the time, it's not even needed, but it's good to have for instances like these.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. If you aren't following the MHSAA on social media, what are you waiting for? It's a great way to keep up with everything going on at the MHSAA. Looking for tournament updates, event announcements, or links to stories? Then check out our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Instagram and TikTok is where you will find our weekly Performance of the Week feature and other behind-the-scenes content. YouTube has tons of historic MHSAA finals archived. Look for classic matchups and rewatch some great games. MHSAA social media is the best way to connect with us every day. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. With winter tournaments just getting started, you don't want to miss a thing. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Arbaugh. Go get it. Ryan dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryan, Vanderjack, up fake, launches a three. Good. Oh my goodness. Out to the point. Throws him up. Innocent space. Shot scores. 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 unanswered. line, giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And welcome back to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It's Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Grandville and Thornapple-Kellogg. Tonight we saw all of the pregame festivities.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. Yeah, driver. Hi, I'm Chandler.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work there for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan Game Night, Tailgate Report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye. And Cam Regnerus has scoring report for the Panthers. 4 points thrown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. And welcome back, everyone, to the Bates Agency pregame show. Sorry about that quick interruption. Had a little bit of an audio, similar issue to what we had on Friday, but we are back and running. Should be good to go now. Also, thanks to producer extraordinaire Nate, who continues to find a way to actually learn things every once in a while. We didn't lose the YouTube stream because we were able to have a little bit different way of doing that. So YouTube is with us still, despite having a problem, which normally right now is when I'm reminding everyone to please go to the other feed because whatever I just did wound up still losing the feed. But we are back, and we are courtside here at Grandville. Nate Dreyer and Chandler Timmer. It is the Bates Agency pregame show, CT. And again, of course, Grandville coming off that huge win against Rockford last time out. That's first top of mind. And you look at Grandville in that game, it started, it ended, it everythinged with Cam Regnerus. 24 points, 11 boards, 3 assists. Good performance from a guy like Stockwell as well with 3. But Regnerus in particular, maybe his best all-around game this season. I mean, maybe even of his career. Was that big a performance in a low-scoring game to put up those kind of numbers?
Yeah, I think definitely fair to say that. He's had some impressive performances throughout his couple years here, but I think that one probably the top when you consider against a rival to close out the OK Red season, and the kind of numbers he was able to put up, just dominant offensively, of course, still locking down on defense as well, blocking shots underneath the basket there, and really making it difficult for the Rams all night long.
Both teams back out, warming up. Thornapple-Kellogg, Coach Thaler's team, Chandler, 2-18 on the season. They are 2-12 within the OK Gold, the tough OK Gold, where you, of course, see Catholic Central and South Christian and the like call home. But this is a team just 10 deep. It's kind of, like I said, a rebuilding year. You know, you lose your best player to transfer before the season starts, kind of last minute before the season and the school year started for Coach Thaler's team. You look at them, 46.5 points per game on the season for the Trojans. They give up 64.2. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but if their JV team, just beat the Grandville JV team, is any indication, they can throw some junk at you. You know, that then we've seen in past years, whether it's different zones, tough man-to-man defenses, they kind of have a mixing pace every once in a while too. It is certainly a little bit of a look-ahead game against a team that, by their nature, look to make the game tricky, especially for, you know, a team like Grandville that comes in as the favorite. You know, like I said, you had senior night, you had look-ahead maybe to Byron Center on Thursday, so TK is the exact team that you can get in trouble with in look-ahead games.
Yeah, definitely don't want to overlook this TK team too much when you factor in that, I mean, this is still a team with the high school basketball is going to be in the postseason and still trying to get some momentum of their own. So they're going to throw everything at you. They're still working on things in this week to try to clean up before they start their district play of their own. So a team that when you lose kind of a star player like that or star talent before your season starts, you're going to kind of go to your bag of tricks and potentially have some different defenses and things that they're going to throw out there. And a shorter team in terms of depth and not a ton of numbers, but some guys that they can rotate in there and try to use.
You mentioned the playoffs. We know what the playoffs officially are, and we will have coverage of Grandville's entire playoff route, by the way. They'll be in the district that's going to be played at Zeeland East High School with the likes of Zeeland West, Zeeland East, Hudsonville, West Ottawa, Jenison, and Holland. It is Holland who Grandville will start their playoff journey against on Monday night of districts. The Bulldogs go to Holland, to the Dutch Dome. I'm okay with that. That's about 2 minutes from my house. But they start there. CT, by the way, will be gone next week, so you unfortunately are going to be stuck with just me during that coverage. But, Chandler, you start with that, likely then Zeeland West looming, likely then Hudsonville looming. It's a little bit tougher path than last year, so momentum this week, very critical for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, you've already got some momentum on Friday night. Now you've got to get through these two non-conference games. A game here you don't want to overlook against Thornapple-Kellogg, a very difficult game potentially on Thursday night against Byron Center. So a couple different types of tests for this Bulldogs team. One to make sure they're a little bit more mentally prepared here tonight, and then, of course, a tough one against Byron Center. But trying to carry that momentum over as you've got one more week before the playoffs start.
All right, the national anthem is on deck. We are going to step aside, and we are going to be right back here on game night for the start of this one.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it, and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
All right, senior night in Grandville. The Bulldogs will have their special all-senior starting lineup this evening. And Thornapple-Kellogg will also get ready to roll out their starters here in just a moment. For Coach Thaler and the Trojans, let's take it down courtside for their introductions.
Number 4, Ethan Lama. Number 13, Kyle Hitzman. Number 15, Tyler Gavin. And number 23, Jacob Travis. The Trojans head coach, Mr. Josh Thaler. And now for your Bulldogs from Grandville, senior number 4, Drew Underwood. Senior number 10, Will Schultz. Senior number 11, Ryder. Senior number 14, Nate Summers. And senior number 22, Connor Moore. With Mr. Desmond.
All right, there are your starters this evening. Grandville and Thornapple-Kellogg ready to go here tonight. Bulldogs with that special senior night lineup as they roll with none of their traditional senior starters. Everyone else gets the start as Sias will have the jump against O'Mara to start this evening. Coach Young, Coach Thaler, look on. Trojans control the opening tip, and away we go here on Bulldogs senior night. Grandville coming off that huge win, 51-44 against Rockford on Friday night. And the Dogs looking to take down Thornapple-Kellogg, as they often have in the last game of the season again here tonight. The hook from Sias is off the mark, and the Bulldogs get their first possession here with the senior night unit. Drew Hungerford to lead the offense. Ryder Haight with it. Summers gets the touch. Summers defended by Ethan Bonema. Haight up top with 40 seconds nearly off the clock in the first quarter. Haight finds Will Schultz. Summers again in the corner. Bulldogs taking their time to get the touch to O'Mara. Handoff in the mid-range. Jay Ryder Haight in rhythm, cannot knock that one down. And the Trojans back the other way. Long possession and a decent look where you want Haight taking one. Stolen here by Hungerford. Bulldogs will run it back the other way with Drew. Haight with space, triple try. Bulldogs on the board. Ryder Haight from deep.
No one ever picking up Ryder Haight as the Bulldogs get a turnover. Turn that into a three-point look on their own end. Ryder Haight missing the mid-range jumper. That's where he's done a lot of damage throughout the course of the season. Doesn't get that one, but comes back able to hit that open three.
Tell you what, Ryder Haight, maybe getting him started, getting a hot hand for him offensively going into the final week of the year. Not the worst thing the Bulldogs could look for. A tough one in the lane, rattles out for Tyler Gavitt. And the Bulldogs back the other way. Schultz in the corner. 3-0 the early Bulldog lead. Final game that'll be at home this year. They open in Holland, then go to Zeeland East if they win that game in the playoffs. Haight the handoff for Summers, and violation will go back the other way for 3 seconds, and the Trojans take it. 6:15 in the first, and 3-0 is the Bulldog advantage, CT.
3-second call there against O'Mara, looking for the post up, had the hand up as the ball was in the corner, looking for the entry pass, doesn't get it, and then just never cleared out of that lane, so a turnover for the Bulldogs.
Sias handoff for the curling Gavitt. Tough floater in the lane, cannot get the rattle despite a good look, and the Bulldogs will have it again with Drew Hungerford, and Hungerford is fouled by Gavitt. That is our first foul of the ball game. Gavitt, 5'10" junior. 3-and-D guard, yes, but a pretty crafty lefty scorer as well. We've seen him in the lane a couple of times, just unable to get the finish so far.
Trojans have been able to get to the short to mid-range. Had some open looks, have not hit them yet. The defense for the Bulldogs has allowed some dribble drive to the basket, but the Trojans unable to make the shot.
Summers drives on Bonema and able to convert a tough one inside. Nate Summers on the board. It's 5-0 Bulldogs. From the line, Kyle Van Heidsma puts TK on the board for the first time.
Trojans going a little bit quicker there offensively, getting the ball up the floor in a hurry, opens up the mid-range jump shot right from the free throw line for Van Heidsma.
Will Schultz will feed Drew Hungerford. Drew reaches one there that TK is going to be able to take away with Bonema back the other way, feeding Van Heidsma. Haight on him, good job. Read and stolen by Nate Summers, who will run the break. He was trying to draw the contact, and that's going to be touched out off of TK and will stay with the Bulldogs here. 4:47 in the first, 5-2. The Bulldog advantage here against senior night lineup for the Bulldogs, hence why you don't see the usual cast of characters, including the usual cast of senior characters that open it up, but the Dogs have the lead early. Summers thought about the three, hit one earlier. Will Schultz now with it. Schultz, he'll try the floater. Got it! One of the true crowd favorites puts the Bulldogs back up 5.
Trojans going to a bit of a zone look defensively there. Schultz gets the pass, able to split the defenders and get into the middle of it.
Off the mark for Tyler Gavitt, and Haight down with a rebound. Here's Summers. Schultz again. Will, no look feed to O'Mara. And Hungerford is going to be called for the push-off and the offensive foul against Gavitt. One foul now on either team. First substitution of the game is Brody Wiersma coming in, the sophomore for TK, along with Ryan Pranger, the senior guard, and Jacob Rodriguez, the senior wing. So a lot of changes very quickly for Coach Thaler. Bulldogs keep out the same senior starting lineup as we are to the halfway point of the first quarter. 7-2 Grandville. Bulldogs 12-8 on the regular season. Finished tied for third with Rockford in the final OK Red standings. Here's Pranger off the glass and good.
Barely able to squeeze that pass in there as Pranger setting up on the right block. Hungerford just about had a fingertip on it to knock that one free, but just enough velocity on that pass to get it in there.
Rest of the Bulldogs seniors are up. Here's Summers. He'll go to the line. A pretty good offense for the Bulldogs senior unit that we don't normally see too much of, as they've gotten in and looked effective to start this one. But Hendrickson, Stockwell, and Tyson Mann all set to check in for the Bulldogs here out of this first timeout, or first free throw from Summers. Got it. 8-4 Grandville. 3 for Summers. He'll stay out there, and the applause for Hungerford and Schultz as they will take a seat. Looks like Summers will be the other one to sub out here in a moment. Summers gets them both. He has 4 points as he'll take a seat for Quentin Hendrickson. 9-4 Bulldogs with 3.5 to go in the first here. Brady Wiersma, the sophomore, to run it. One of a couple sophomores that make up this initial rotation, along with Dreisma, 23, who you see in the corner. Work here from Jackson Sias, turning on O'Mara, grabbing his own rebound, and reaching with a putback will send Sias to the line. Foul on O'Mara is his first. 2 now on either team. 3:20 to go in the first. 9-4 Grandville, and the big guy, Jackson Sias, the junior, who, as we've seen earlier, the Trojans are going to run a lot of their offense through. Will go to the line.
Pretty good defense initially from O'Mara, able to keep his body between Sias and the basket, but off the miss, unable to secure the rebound. Sias gets his own rebound. Another chance at it.
Applause for O'Mara. He'll take a seat. Cam Regneris is in. Kyle Van Heetsma is in for TK. Sias converts 1 of 2 at the charity stripe. Gets himself on the score sheet. Stockwell feeding Cam Regneris. Turns and 1. Immediate impact from Cam Regneris. He's got one more coming. Foul on Sias will be the third on the team. And that's going to be a big advantage that Cam's going to have size-wise in the post in this battle.
And patience from Regneris, 2 down along the baseline, not rushing into that shot. The defense contesting initially, able to pivot just enough, get the defender down back on the floor, and then able to go up for that shot.
Bit of a limp coming off the floor there for Sias as Regneris completes the three-point play, gets it to a 12-5 game, but Holt will come in the place of his junior teammate here. Man reaching, has the steal. Tyson to the basket, able to score. 14-5 and a timeout from the TK bench as Tyson goes coast to coast off the steal and the finish, and the Bulldogs, the 9-point lead, will step aside and be right back.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
And welcome back. We're back underway. TK with it. A whistle. And we've got a push on the Bulldogs. Looks like they will get Stockwell on the call. That'll be his first here. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. Ethan Bonham, the junior guard who started, will check back in here for the Trojans and Coach Thaler. 14-5 Grandville. The slight change you see coming out of that break. Drew Hungerford back out for the Bulldogs. It's lobbed into Bonham here. Pranger for Bonham. Cut off by Mann. Van Heetsma, he'll try the 3 over top of Stockwell. And the board down to Cam Regneris on the high reach.
It's the defense from Stockwell forcing the deep 3 from Van Heetsma. I think Stockwell a little surprised he took that shot, but still able to get out there and get a hand in the face just enough.
Regneris' pass is tipped out by Van Heetsma. Stays with the Bulldogs. 2:07 in the first. 14-5 Grandville. It'll be Hendrickson to throw in here for the Bulldogs. Stockwell, quick trigger 3, splash.
Wide open off the inbound pass. Stockwell just makes a simple little cut to the corner. The defenders not go with him. About as open as a look from the corner you're going to get on a 3-point or off the inbound pass.
Bottom of the how big is it for the Bulldogs as Stockwell stays hot shooting heading into the playoffs. Van Heetsma, nice reach, able to score around Stockwell and bring it back within 10. Stockwell working against this matchup zone right here. Tyson, man, off the mark. And a foul on the fight for the rebound. This is that kind of matchup zone that the JV squad for TK was operating. Kind of starts as a bit of a 2-3 and then shifts into that kind of swinging matchup type defensive look, which oftentimes might, with some ball movement, give you some open threes. We saw Stockwell hit one, man had one, he just couldn't quite convert right there. That foul was on Pranger. And it's his first and the team's third. Tyson Mann double teamed and paddles that one out of bounds, and TK will take it. His man got, I think, a little caught off guard by that double that was brought, and the Trojans have it again.
Yeah, had Hendrickson wide open. That's where he was trying to get that ball down to, is Hendrickson inbounded the basketball and then was wide open as the zone was going two defenders to Tyson Mann.
Crashing into the lane, Tyler Gavitt is off the mark. Stockwell gonna work with some pace. Can't get the friendly touch there, and then he fouls over the top and around Corey Holt for his second foul of the game. 1:08 in the first, 4 fouls now on either team. As we are into the final, about minute 5 here. Bulldogs stay in that half-court man-to-man defense. Gavitt for Van Heetsma. Trying to get the big man Sias, who will chase it down up top inside 55 seconds. Bottom of the junior guard. Stopped by Hendrickson. Handoff. Gavitt spinning past Mann. And a foul is called. Will it send Gavitt to the line? I believe it will. It will be a shooting foul, and it will send Tyler Gavitt to the stripe for a couple right here. The foul's going to be on Hungerford, his second, team's 5th. And Gavitt gets himself on the score sheet. Corbin Heckman checks in for the first time for the Bulldogs tonight as Hungerford takes a seat with that second foul. Gavitt goes 2 of 2 at the line right here. Regneris against 2 defenders goes to the line. A little bit of space right there, and it was essentially just a matter of whether or not he got the 2, because he was going to be going to the line with the way that play developed.
And nice setup offensively, able to get the ball down to Heckman in the short corner. Regneris understanding where that zone defense is going to be swinging, able to open himself up in the middle of the lane and get the pass, tic-tac-toe down.
Unable to get the touch there. Haight will come in for Stockwell, who is back at the bench having a word with Coach Wade anyway. Regneris 1 of 2 that trip to the line. The Bulldogs have got TK doubled up once again as Brody Wiersma will check in for Corey Holt. 38 seconds to go. First quarter, 18-9 Grandville here. Good start on the senior night for the Dogs against Thornapple-Kellogg. Van Heetsma will back it out, defended by Hendrickson. The sophomore Wiersma with 25. Ryder Haight all over him. Wiersma stops and gives for Gavitt. Sias spins on Cam Regneris. He'll feed Dreisma. Gavitt again with 9 seconds. Gavitt stops, and a foul going to be called on Tyson Mann. That'll be the first on Tyson. 6.2 in the first. That is the 6th on the Bulldogs. So free throws starting after this for the Trojans already.
The Bulldogs extending that man-to-man well outside the arc. Tyson Mann getting in the face there, but as drives to the basket, ends up committing the foul.
Gavitt off the mark from the corner. Heckman down with the board. He'll fling the three-quarter court shot. It looked pretty good most of the way. Just off to the left. That'll do it for the first. 18-9 Grandville after 1. We will be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
And welcome back. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Start of the second here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. 18-9 Grandville. Good start for the Bulldogs on senior night. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. And the Bulldogs, a good start, and I think an important game here again against a 2-win Thornapple-Kellogg team if they can keep this momentum going. The tough game against Byron Center Thursday, but it's all about building off that Rockford win for the playoffs. The first quarter certainly did that.
Yeah, and a good start, not overlooking this Trojans team, able to get some good minutes out of their senior starting lineup, got them a lead, and then get into the more normal rotation, the starting rotation for this Bulldogs team.
Bulldogs swinging against the matchup zone here. They'll find it with Ryder Haight out of the corner. Heckman for Tyson Mann with space. And Mann able to knock down the triple. He now has 5.
Nice ball movement all the way around. Seeing that zone once again, able to swing it around, beat the zone defense, trying to get back all the way to the corner and Tyson Mann.
Jackson Sias for Van Heetsma. Tyson Mann will pick up the defense on him. Brady Wiersma, the sophomore, defended by Quentin Hendrickson. The handoff goes to Dreisma, the other sophomore. And it looks like we've got a foul on Hendrickson, and that is going to put Thornapple-Kellogg in the bonus and at the line for a 1-and-1 right here on Hendrickson's first foul.
Yeah, the Bulldogs defense doing a nice job in that first quarter, holding the Trojans to just 9 points. The only downside of that, already 7 fouls for the Bulldogs, sending the Trojans to the line quite a bit here in the second quarter likely.
Dreisma unable to hit the first. Most other interesting game around the area, South Christian, East Kentwood playing tonight, 13-2 South Christian after 1. In that game, 2-3 swinging matchup zone. The Bulldogs swing to Haight. Off the mark on that high arcing triple, and TK takes back over, but the Bulldogs have a little bit of the idea on attacking it right there, swinging to some open threes. Mann hits one, Haight just off the mark on one, but the Trojans get it back.
Yeah, those are still the shots that the Bulldogs are looking for. They'll take that. Haight already with a 3 earlier in the game and another open look for him.
Looks like Gavitt, maybe some blood, had to wipe it off. Now he is going to be allowed back into the ball game. 21-9 Grandville with just a little under 7 to go in the first. 7 fouls this half already against the Bulldogs. 5 against Thornapple-Kellogg. And to the line goes Van Heetsma off a nice finish right there. He has 6 and can try to get one more.
A nice field on the offensive end from Van Heetsma, able to see his man, knows that he's not going to be able to get a shot up along the right side of the lane and cut to the basket for a little outlet pass and a chance of his own for a 3-point play.
High bore in for the senior man as Tyson picks up his second foul of the game. 3-point play is down and good for Van Heetsma. And a timeout is called on the floor as Van Heetsma has 7 in this one right now. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. Inverted score right now, 21-12. Grandville with 6:50 to go in the second. Both teams will break out of this quick timeout right here, and we will get ready to go once more, as the Trojans are also going to look to bring a little bit of pressure in the full court off the inbound right here for the Bulldogs. Hendrickson will take his time to set it up here. Trojans into more of a man-to-man defensive look here. Highbore, the sophomore. Hackman down to the big man, Regneris. Turn to the back on Sias. Highbore triggers the triple. He's just off the mark. Rebound, put back. Heckman, no. And Gavitt, the high leaping rebound. The Bulldogs, if they can get Highbore going offensively, especially from deep, that's going to be dangerous. Van Heetsma tries another one, but the board is down to Cam Regneris.
Yeah, I think really a couple guys the Bulldogs really would like to get going in this game from deep. It's Stockwell, Haight, as well as Highbore. First two already have a 3 on the night, and Highbore another clean look at it.
Fallon Pranger is his second. That's the 6th on Thornapple-Kellogg. It will be Heckman to throw in here for the Bulldogs. He gets it to Quentin Hendrickson. The touch for Regneris. Hybor, the sophomore. Swing matchup zone, pulls on to him. Regneris over to Hybor, and the sophomore rattles it down.
Like to see the confidence from the sophomore after just missing one, going right back to it. Has an open look, doesn't think twice about it, just puts it up and able to hit that one.
Hybor had a trio of threes against Jennison a few games back. Van Heetsma off the mark on the tough push shot in the lane, and it's back the other way. 24-12, the Bulldogs have them doubled up to the basket. Hendrickson floater, no, and TK, the board on the run out here from the sophomore, Brody Wiersma. 5.5 in the second. Bulldogs leading on the senior night, 24-12. Bonema, the junior, drives on. Haight gets the finish with the left.
Nice crossover from Bonema, able to get the defender going one direction, cross back over, get a step in front of Haight, and finish on the left side.
Trojans to the 2-3 zone. The Bulldogs swing it to Haight. Regneris for Hybor. Back to Cam, backdoor feed to the basket. Heckman is good. Terrific ball movement, and it's the big guy, Regneris, on the feed right there.
All night long, the Bulldogs understanding once they get the basketball there in that mid-range, one more pass and they're going to have an easy look.
Wiersma off the mark, and the long rebound is eventually secured by Cam Regneris. Haight to the corner. Hybor again. Foul on the fight for the board. And that will send the Bulldogs to the line for a 1-1. Looks like to be foul 3 on Pranger. And 7th on the team. So both teams into the bonus now. And it's going to be a couple changes, and then Hendrickson going to the line for the Bulldogs here. No scoring yet for Quentin Hendrickson. Now he has scored. 27-14 Grandville, looking to double them up once more here with the second at the line for Quentin Hendrickson. Balanced scoring night for the Dogs so far. Unable to get the second to go. The rebound is down to Hayden Chapman with his first touch of the ball game. Bonema defended by Hybor on the wing. Holt, the senior, feeding Chapman. Bonema, triple over top of Hybor. Board eventually settled down by Regneris and the Bulldogs. About 3 Dogs all touched it before he had it. Halfway point of the second quarter, 27-14 Bulldogs. Final home game of the season. Turn from Regneris, and the big guy will go to the line for 2.
What makes that move from Regneris so impressive for as tall as he is, his ability to lower and get down low to the floor, to sneak inside. Well, when he's working down low in the paint, knows he's going to have to spin to that way, lowers his shoulder, gets some leverage on the defender to get that spin.
That is 5 now for Cam. Sias will check in for Bonema. A little bit more size for Coach Thaler. Regneris got them both. Man, if Grandville can get him going better at the line, that's been the only hole in his game, and in particular his offensive game this season. He's been a lot more confident the last couple games at the stripe. Gavitt, the handoff for Jacob Dreisma. The sophomore swatted off the backboard by Regneris. Cam was setting him up for that one. Hybor jump pass through the hands of Regneris, goes back the other way, but Cam's got his highlight on the other end of the floor. Emphatically right there sets up the sophomore.
He's had some serious rejections throughout the course of the season. That was right up there for the top one. I think all along saw that was coming, almost lingering an extra second on the other side of the basket, knowing he's going to get a lot of that basketball as soon as it goes up.
Gavitt shifting here against Hendrickson. Chapman for Gavitt again. All the way around in circles. Gavitt unable to get the finish, and the rebound on the run to Quentin Hendrickson with numbers to the corner. Hybor, another 3. Got it. Splashes that one down. 32-14 Bulldogs.
And Quentin Hendrickson able to run the point in transition there. Has the defender all over him. Gets it well inside the lane before finally kicking it out. Wide open three in the transition game.
That's a awkward and tough shot that Sias is able to score over top of Cam Regneris. He now has 3 in this one. 3 for Stockwell. Oh, they're feeling it. 35-16 in a timeout from the TK bench. We will stay with you through this timeout here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. And a reminder that Scott Bates is your local Grandville, Jenison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Grandville. And CT, it started as a night where the talking points were going to be looking into various senior night type of elements, but it's turned into the general offense. Hybor rowing, Stockwell rowing from 3. This is a really good feel-good night right now for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it sure is. A great night to boost some confidence from the floor when you've got multiple guys shooting the basketball like that. You get some guys have been a big part of when this offense was at its best, shooting the basketball effectively and continuing to build some momentum both as a team but also individually for some of these guys.
And this is back-to-back games that Logan Stockwell is really feeling it for the Bulldogs offensively. That is obviously very, very, very huge, but add in Colin Hybor. If the sophomore has that pure of a stroke and is shooting it the way he's been shooting it in this game, look out, and I mean it. It just adds one more element as the playoffs and a tough matchup against Byron Center that we'll have the coverage of from BC on Thursday is coming up. Jacob Rodriguez feeding Sias and stolen by Hungerford. Push is knocked out of bounds by Van Heetsma. Stays with Grandville 2:11 in the second, 35-16 Grandville. This is certainly so far the top performance of the year that we at least have seen out of the Bulldogs. It goes without saying against this 2-win kind of rebuilding transition year Thornapple-Kellogg team. Whistle off the ball will be sending the Bulldogs to the line for a 1-1 right here. Will be Cam Regneris going to the line. That's the 9th team foul on the Trojans and the 3rd on Jackson Sias. That puts him in some foul trouble.
Yeah, I think it was Regneris setting the ball screen. Sias trying to go through it and committing the foul.
Stockwell blocked off that miss. And the run out here from Van Heetsma. Inside 2 minutes in the second. Van Heetsma blocked by Regneris. Nice feed, Hungerford lobbed and sent down by Cam Regneris. Tic-tac-toe and the junior gets the finish.
All night long, the Bulldogs offense just has been a step ahead right there. You see it once again. Hungerford, Hendrickson to Regneris. Boom, boom, boom.
Gavitt in the lane. Rodriguez here. Only thing that could have added that is if Cam also threw it down. That was more of kind of a touch in. He had to come from a ways behind, but if we could have had that off some really nice feeds into the jam, he may have a chance later still. Van Heetsma maybe even threw a little bit of a tip from Regneris, able to get the finish. It's 37-18. Van Heetsma, at minimum, he's got 9, been really good, the junior for Coach Thaler.
Yeah, really nice move in the lane. The spin move and then able to get it over top of Regneris.
Van Heetsma to the basket, swatted by Cam Regneris. Van Heetsma wants a foul called and maybe has a bit of a gripe, but the Trojans will keep it right here off another emphatic rejection from Cam Regneris.
Well, Van Heetsma got the first one, got the bucket on the first possession, and then Regneris got him on that one. Just a one-on-one situation. Regneris standing his ground, able to go straight up, get that basketball. Van Heetsma looking for the block called, but not getting it.
Van Heetsma going to the bench as Bonema will now come in to throw this one in and trigger the play. Knocked out of there by Stockwell, and a foul going to be called on Ryder Hayda on the push as he initiated that contact on the fight for the basketball. 9 fouls on either team now. Foul 1 on Ryder. 37-18 with 50 seconds to go in the first half. Gavitt at the line, hitting the first as he can get the Trojans over the 20-point threshold. Unable to do so on that one, and Haight eventually settling down and taking the board for the Bulldogs. 19 points would have put you up by a couple possessions on Friday. Pecked out here by Stockwell. Summers is out there. He's got it here to Regnerus. Cam on the drive to the rack, and he was fouled on the floor. He'll go to the line for 2 as that will put the Bulldogs into the double bonus. Foul going to be called on Corey Holt. That is his second. And that's sometimes when you get Regnerus, we talk about his post-up ability. He can drive so well as well in those sorts of moments, and sometimes leaves the defense with no choice but to just follow him, grab him, and make sure he can't get into his shot motion.
Yeah, it's the one part of his game we haven't seen a ton, but you know he's got that ability. He's got good enough handles to get attacking to the basket. Once he catches it on the perimeter, he's not strictly a post player. He can get himself in the lane.
Regnerus with 9 leads a balanced Grandville offense. Gavitt the handoff for Wiersma. Gavitt spinning in the lane. Tipped, I think, by Regnerus, but still able to get a tough one to go.
A really creative move from Gavitt, able to get that one. Had to put some spin on it off the backboard.
Hendrickson with 4. Stockwell the 3 at the horn. Can't get it to go. That gets us to halftime. 38-21, Grandville over Thornapple-Kellogg here on this senior night. Good one continuing for the Bulldogs, and welcome inside Vanderslice Gymnasium and the Bates Agency, or the Centennial Securities halftime show. All right, CT. 38-21, obviously just a solid night. And again, a Thornapple-Kellogg team that came in 2-18, and we set it up talking about how they do some different things to make it tricky. And we've seen the Bulldogs with a couple mistakes, and we've seen TK with some decent offensive possessions off of that. But for the most part, the offense flowing for Grandville tonight, and this so far, irrespective of opponent, has been their best performance of the year.
Yeah, I think really a pretty all-around solid night for the Bulldogs through the first half. When you look at the offense, really knocking down some shots. You've got quite a bit of depth in terms of scoring. The defense has been there making plays all night as well. Of course, TK making some plays along the way too, but for the most part, Grandville feeling pretty good offensively and defensively about the way that first half went. I
do not know if irrespective is a word or if it's the correct word to use there. I only went to Grand Valley, so if someone out there went to like Michigan or Harvard or something, please correct me on that. Irregardless, 38-21, Grandville at the half over Thornapple-Kellogg here on this senior night. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium with a lot more still to break down.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
It's a 3-week journey, unmatched in almost all sports. It takes 8 games of perfection, from Monday night at your home gym and districts to the grand stage of Michigan's largest college basketball arena. Neighborhood district foes for a week, then the best of the region, the best of your quarter of the state, and eventually all eyes on the best of the best from each side of the state, with it all on the line in late March. Every game is a winner-takes-all and a pure display on the hardwood, with styles of play as varied as the corners of the state the teams travel from. To win, you'll need to conjure up some of your own March magic. No one makes it through this run unscathed. There's stories of perfection, stories of redemption, and stories of some of the great names and teams to lace them up in the mitten. We've seen them all here. The greatest teams and players on the west side conquering all. Title-winning moments only March supplies. And the end of dynasties and miracle runs that counter the unmatched elation with an equal emotional crushing. In the MHSAA basketball tournament, moments make the journey. Don't blink because you might miss one. It's an arduous thrill, but it goes by pretty quick. This is March on MGN. Welcome back to the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Senior night from Vanderslice Gymnasium, 38-21 Grandville over Thornapple-Kellogg at the half. CT, our scoring recap, please.
All right, we'll start with the Trojans. Leading scorer, Van Hatesman, 9 points. Gevitt with 5. Size with 3. And then Pranger and Bonema each with 2 points. Over to the Bulldogs. Leading scorer for Grandville, Regnerst with 9 points in the first half. Pretty evenly distributed from there going down the list. Stockwell with 6, as well as Hybor with 6. Tyson Mann with 5. Nate Summers with 4. Ryder Haight with 3. Will Schultz 2. Quentin Hendrickson with 1.
Yeah,
Corbin Heckman in there with 2 as well.
Sorry, CT. My point was what an incredibly well-balanced scoring recap. In fact, I just saw in our tweet I put Mann as the Bulldogs' second leading scorer with 5. Actually, with Stockwell with 6 because, this team today for the Bulldogs, everyone got rolling offensively in that first half. Now the goal is keep it going in the second half. Certainly keep it going into Thursday against a really good Byron Center team. A Byron Center team that has a D1 prospect in Camden Correll, their senior. That'll be a really fun matchup with him versus Cam Regnerist. But again, we didn't get a lot of time to talk about it in our pregame show coverage, so maybe now a good time. Let's do a little bit of a district preview, mostly because we're losing you for the rest of this week and into that week. So this will be our last chance to talk about it. So make this is your tailgate report, little snippet here at halftime. I'll probably be using this clip in future pregame shows because I'm lazy. But you look at this district. So Grandville opens with Holland, team that really struggled, led by a really terrific freshman, Van Hecken, that has kind of led the way for them at Holland. A game, though, I think Grandville, you can't look past any game like we said tonight, but they feel pretty good about. The Bulldogs' path after that, likely, and a lot of different things, as we know, can happen, but we are expecting the path to likely look like Zeeland West on Wednesday night, Hudsonville Friday night. don't have to break down much of Hudsonville. The Grandville faithful know what that means, and everyone is rooting for Grandville-Hudsonville rubber match for a district championship again, just like in 2019. And the Bulldog faithful want some revenge from that game because I think they still definitely feel like that game very easily could have, should have, would have gone the other way based on some different things that happened in that contest. But starting with Zeeland West, Merritt Aldering, 6'7", 6'8", big post player, matches up great against Cam Regneris. We got Luke Baker as a scoring guard. Really, really fascinating matchup. We were talking before the game, actually. You and I were talking about it a little bit, not to get too long-winded with my setup to the question, but you look at Aldering, a D1 player. He's the best player on the floor most nights that he steps on the floor, and I think that likely can be true again. But man, Regneris right there behind him probably is the next two best players on the floor, and then these teams have a lot of interchangeable pieces. That's going to be a really, really fascinating match, but that is what we get on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think for sure you've got a couple of those matchups when you've got Merritt Aldering and Cam Regneris, two guys that are usually quite a bit taller than anyone else on the floor in terms of in their respective conference and what they're going up against. Of course, each had their own challenges and the way the teams approach them, but seeing those guys when you've got kind of that similar talent in terms of a center player like that going head-to-head, seeing those guys who gets the advantage there, and of course Luke Baker, Tyson Mann, two guys that can shoot the basketball and handle the basketball as well. So you've kind of got those top two scorers in terms of defenders as well, too, matching up head-to-head. Sometimes you kind of have to wonder what those matchups are going to be when you've got maybe a star guard and a star center going against opposite teams. When you've got kind of those similar pieces for each team going head-to-head, really be interesting to see them played out.
All right, both teams out there, and we are ready for the third quarter to start us back off right here. 38-21, Grandville leading on senior night. Bulldogs go with their slightly altered starting lineup as Hungerford and Mann will be in the backcourt along with Hendrickson. Stockwell will come to play the 4. Regneris stays out there at the 5. The Bulldogs get it to open the second half, and away we go. 38-21 after 2 frames. Here's Hungerford finding Cam Regneris on Sias, and he'll go to the line right away.
Immediately in the offense possession, getting the basketball middle lane. Cam Regneris goes to work, able to use that shoulder, bumping just enough. Not enough for an offensive foul, but moving the defender down underneath the basket, and Sias already battling some foul trouble, picks up a quick one.
Yeah, that's 4 on Sias, by the way. Regneris unable to hit the first, so Sias will obviously have to take a seat right here. The senior Corey Holt comes in his place. Cam with 9 points right now, looking to get into double-digit scoring individually. Unable to do so for 2 at the stripe right there for Regneris. Bulldogs have to fight coming out a little sleepy, I think, in the second half of the way this game opened. Van Heetsma. Bonema turns from inside the arc. And here's Hendrickson. 30 seconds gone in the second half. Tyson Mann drives on Bonema, kicks to Stockwell from the corner. No. Board is kicked all the way out top onto the sprinting Dreisma, and the sophomore able to settle it down. Gavitt spins off the up fake. Bonema drives and hands off. Blocked away as Holt went up with that one. Regneris gets another block. It stays with Thornapple-Kellogg. 7:06 in the third. 38-21 Grandville.
Trojans had an opportunity on that chase down, run out rebound there to try to attack a little bit as Regneris still on the other end of the floor to attack without him as a shot blocking presence, and they're unable to do so.
From the corner, Jacob Dreisma knocks down the triple, and TK draws first blood in this second half. I think that's their first triple of the game as well. Dreisma, the sophomore. Foul here is whistled on Gavitt, his second, team second. Just 5 in the first half for Tyson Mann. Good work by Mann, leading, scoring. That was really nice with the crossover and then the reaching finish. That is the quintessential Tyson Mann finish, announced during the pregame festivities that he's uncommitted but plans on playing this sport, basketball, at the next level. Nice tough one in the lane right there from Gavitt. He has 7.
Gavitt able to stop on a dime there, allow the defender fly past, and then hit the mid-range.
Man, another answer right away. 9 for Tyson. Van Heetsma off the mark, and a push from Holt in the back of Cam Regneris will draw the foul. They'll bring Wiersma in. Bonema checks out. Also, Pranger will come in here for the Trojans. As Holt takes a seat, a little bit smaller unit out there. TK brings some full court pressure. And what's been kind of a sloppy and sleepy feeling start to the second half, despite a little bit of scoring, but maybe scoring because of that sleepy start. Tyson Mann, he's got 6 in this half and really doing it all for the Bulldogs right now, 44-26.
Going extremely hard to the basket. He had gotten to a little bit of foul trouble of his own in the first half, but being very aggressive to start the third quarter.
Knocked out by the Bulldogs on the feed to Dreisma. We'll stay with TK here. So Tyson suddenly up to 11 in this game off that last bucket. Feed to Dreisma. He'll back down on Tyson. High-reaching block from Cam Regneris. High points that one, and it's a run out with Stockwell to the rack for 2 more. Defense and offense, Grandville by 20.
Stockwell able to take that one and finish it. Really a 1-on-2. He did not have numbers, but had the defenders retreating, able to get the transition bucket.
No good for Wiersma. Hungerford the board. Lobbing for Regneris, catches and finishes. Bulldogs offense, CT starting to run in transition.
Yeah, no, that one completely set up from the pass by Hungerford. Gets it just over the top of the defender. Spot where Regneris catches and can go right back up.
Blocked again by Regneris. This time they'll get the foul. As probably active of a game blocking shots for Regneris, as we've seen. That'll be just his second foul, and that's the first of the half on the Bulldogs. Grandville team that averages 51.5 points per game on the season. They're at 48 right now, and the first is off the mark for Van Heetsma. Haight will come in for Stockwell after a little bit of miscommunication, and will be Stockwell taking a seat. Couple changes as well, as Rodriguez will get set to check in for the shooter here for Coach Thaler. One more at the line for Van Heetsma. Cannot hit either right there. Tyson Mann was 6 already in the second half with some pace. He'll take it to the rack again. He'll score at the rack again. 50-26 Grandville. Tyson Mann with 13 leads all scores.
Yeah, Tyson just waiting for someone to stop him with the basketball, and the Trojan defense not doing it.
Van Heetsma was just trying to draw the contact, cannot do so. He's down behind the play. In the lane, a foul is going to be called on the floor before the shot. Van Heetsma getting back to his feet. He lost the shoe as well behind the play. He, under his own power, will come off the floor. That was a foul on Gavitt, by the way, 4th on the Trojans. So 3 on Gavitt, 4 as we know on Sias. A little bit of foul trouble for the Trojans brewing. Man lobbing in for Cam Regneris. Hendrickson for Haight. Regneris with a big mismatch against Wiersma. Feeds Hendrickson. Nice job to let the defender flow by and score.
Now once Regneris goes out on the perimeter, Hendrickson able to get himself down in the paint and wide open. Nice feed down there from Regneris.
Hendrickson, bit of a miscommunication to turn over to Wiersma. Good work getting back on it from Hendrickson to tip that one away. Stays with the Trojans. Here comes Landon Terry for the first time for Cam Regneris. Terry, of course, got the start last time out for the Bulldogs. Pranger, a whistle on the floor on the inbound. That'll be the second foul of the half on the Bulldogs, and the whistle. Which looks like no foul. Looks like they just called off the inbound right there. Some official timeout, so to speak, as it was inbounded. Now drive from Gavitt, and he is fouled. 52-26. 4:03 in the third. That will be the second foul on the Bulldogs. It will send Tyler Gavitt to the line. Fouls on Tyson Mann. That is his third, and he will likely be taking a seat for Hybor here. Free throw shooting a struggle for both right now in this one.
Yeah, got off to a pretty good start for the Bulldogs especially, and then things cooling off a little bit from the free throw line.
It's actually Hendrickson on the bench. Tyson and 3 fouls stay out there. Gavitt able to go 1 of 2 at the stripe right here. He now has 8. Pushed to Hybor, the sophomore, driving and losing it in the lane to Jacob Rodriguez. 11 on 11 right here. Haight defending Rodriguez. Pranger turns into a triple. Rebound down to Hybor. Tyson Mann drives, floats, scores again. Terrific second half for Tyson Mann.
Had to catch that ball very strong. The defender had a hand on it, almost ripped it away, but Tyson holding onto the basketball with both hands, rips through, and then able to get himself in the middle of the floor.
Mann with 10 in the first not even 5 minutes of this third quarter. He's got 15 in the game. Rodriguez tipped and stolen nicely by Drew Hungerford. It will go Grandville's way. Hungerford checks out. Summers comes back in here for Coach Young. Tyson Mann out there still with the Bulldogs, working those 3 fouls, but leading the way with 10 points in the second half. Hybor, tough jump pass. He'll get it back from Summers, and he is fouled and stripped by Gavitt. 15 foul of the half on the Trojans, and that will be foul 4 on Gavitt. 2:58 in the third. Gavitt takes a seat. Trojans are going to bring Chapman along with Dreisma back in right here. Haight around the Terry screen. Hybor off the bounce. Tipped out by the Trojans. I like the aggressiveness from Colin Hybor right now. Just kind of giving him that look to be a little bit aggressive in attack right now.
I think Coach Young getting the offense, trying to run it through Hybor just a little bit right now. Let him create off the bounce. Hasn't had a ton of opportunity to do that in this offense this year, but getting a chance right now.
And he's taken away, but Tyson will drive and score again. 12 in the second half for Tyson Mann. 56-27 Grandville.
All right around the basket, too, getting very close and finishing both right and left hands.
Long 2 for Pranger, no. Chapman will feed that one to nowhere, and the Bulldogs will take back over. Boston Postma will come in for the first time for the Bulldogs. Tyson will take a seat. He'll get an applause on his way off. I would assume Coach Young will still probably get all the seniors in at least one more time throughout the rest of this one. I don't think they're gonna make them sit the rest of the way. Postma runs you out. I mean, this is an interesting look. Postma out there, Hybor in there. You want to see what they can do to run the offense. Not a great start. Van Heidsma is stripped, and he'll lose it down low right here. He'll stay with the Trojans. But Hybor playing kind of more of that wing or the guard type position right now, along with Postma. Lobbed in to Van Heidsma, turns and got the finish.
And they off the inbound pass, just throwing it up. Van Heidsma jumps the defender, not able to jump up with him. Get some positioning right away.
Postma, nice move. And he travels on the stop, and the Thornapple-Kellogg side takes back over. 2 minutes to go in the third. Inbound to Wiersma, pressured up the floor by Boston Postma. Wiersma stopped and fouled. That'll be the third foul of the half on the Bulldogs. They'll whistle Summers. 1:54 in the third. I lied, they'll whistle Postma. Bonema hits Van Heidsma, followed by Postma. Oh, an offensive foul is going to be called, pushing off there from Van Heidsma. And the Bulldogs will take it again with 1:52 in the third.
They go right back to the same inbound play, just throwing it up to Van Heidsma, see what he can do. But as he caught the basketball, trying to spin and pivot there, throwing the elbows just enough to get the offensive charge.
Hybor able to collect out of the corner. Postma. Ryder Haight. Haight Summers, the Bulldogs seniors out there. Oh, good look, but unable to get the finish for Ryder. Remains 56-29 inside the final minute 20 now in the third. Wiersma defended by Boston Postma. Hybor got a hand on that one. Dreisma settled it down. Sophomore on sophomore right here. Hybor maybe just getting a piece of that one. Fight for this one. A foul will go Grandville's way. Stockwell Hackman will come in again for the Bulldogs, and the Grandville side will go to the line now into the bonus for a 1-and-1 right here. That was foul 1 on Ethan Bonema. And it will be Postma at the stripe for the Bulldogs, looking for the juniors' first points of the game. Unable to convert, we go inside the final minute of the first right here. Postma's going to bring some full court pressure. Good job to beat it from Wiersma. And he's fouled on the floor. 48 seconds to go in the third. Interesting how when you see the second unit out, Coach Young running some full court pressure looks. I think it's the one thing as he potentially adds some depth that I'd be interested to see if we see more of out of this Grandville attack in years to come. You think of his background at Grand Rapids Christian, a lot of full court defenses that, of course, are run right there. We saw it firsthand a few weeks ago what they can do. It is the one thing. Of course, Coach Young is a man-to-man guy through and through. He'll be the first to say that. That is the style coach that he always is going to ultimately be. But it's the one thing to watch, I think, going forward, just in terms of wrinkles. We saw that kind of matchup zone 2-3 look that the Bulldogs ran against East Kentwood. A little bit against Grand Rapids Christian as well this year. All things to keep an eye on going forward. Final 30 seconds of the third here on Bulldogs Senior Night. Drive from Corbin Hackman, spinning and scoring. Really nice move over top of Van Heidsma.
Yeah, great awareness of where he is on the floor. Looks like he's going to go to the baseline and get trapped underneath, but able to spin at the right time to get back in the middle of the floor and then get to that right hand.
Dreisma misses it all from the corner. Board down to Summers. Final 8 seconds. Postma Euros into the lane. Blocked by Van Heidsma. Trojans didn't quite know their clock situation. Do not throw up the prayer. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
All right, final quarter. Final quarter of video coverage this year on Game Night. By the way, we're in the playoffs, so all back to enhanced radio after this for the remainder of the year. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. And the Bulldogs lead big, 58-29 over TK on Senior Night. Been a thorough performance start to finish for the Bulldogs, Chandler, in their final home contest of the campaign.
They're playing extremely well through the first three quarters, offensively, defensively, getting a lot of depth players out there, getting some serious minutes and playing well in those.
Jackson Sias back in. Cam Regneris back in. They meet, and Regneris comes away with another block. Huge performance for Regneris coming off that double-double against Rockford. Sias swinging to the wing for Pranger. Bonema blocked by Regnerus again. Regnerus tried to get it on the run out. Bonema raced to it. Regnerus may have a chance for double-digit blocks. Based on what he's officially been credited with when it's all said and done, he's going to have a chance for that tonight.
He's got to be close. There's been a lot of them. That one a little bit further out, able to get a piece of the mid-range shot. It's been a lot around the basket, but it's extending his blocks out a little bit in that one.
30 seconds gone after Pranger loses that one. Tyson Mann back in here for the Bulldogs. Here is Regnerus. He'll try the three. Can't get the friendly rattle. Ethan Bonema, 2 points for the 5'9 junior in this one. He'll be sized up defensively by Tyson Mann. Bonema again. Defended by Mann again. Sias can run the offense up top, directs it here to Drysma. Bonema lobbing Sias. Matchup against Stockwell, falls short. Board down to Logan Stockwell. Whipping around to the corner for Tyson Mann. Hendrickson. Bulldogs have their usual starting lineup out right now. Corner, Heckman. And the rebound down to Corey Holt.
Coach Young calling the setup there, getting a look for Heckman.
Drysma, the three in transition, no. Pranger's blocked, and a foul is called on Quinn Hendrickson. Foul 2 on Hendrickson, foul 5 on the Bulldogs. So to the line here for Ryan Pranger, the senior guard. Got them both. Couple substitutions here for Coach Thaler now. Trojans will show a little bit of full court man pressure here. Here is Tyson Mann against the man. And he'll beat it over the timeline past Bonema. Three for Stockwell. Oh, he's feeling it. This is good news for Bulldogs faithful going to the playoffs. Stockwell got another one.
That's third triple of the night, shooting it very confidently there.
Answer from Rodriguez is good, and it'll go back the other way with the Bulldogs. Lobbing. Regnerus jams. Whistle and a timeout. And Coach Young going to get his guys off the floor one final time right here. They'll all take their turns to kiss the floor, swap out. Mann and Stockwell out, Hendrickson out. And there you have it. Final minute says Bulldogs on their home floor for that part of this terrific group of seniors for the Bulldogs. Rodriguez will go to the line. Foul here on Schultz. Rebound down to O'Mara. Final 5.5 minutes, going to be plenty of time for this group to get to play together one last time. O'Mara tries the three. Off the mark. I think they're going to get him a few of those touches. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. You see the whole bench immediately getting up, looking for that basket. O'Mara, I'm sure, going to get a few more chances here as these final 5 minutes play out.
Van Heetsma spinning on Hungerford. The handoff for Wiersma. Caught it and one. Tough one from the sophomore, Brody Wiersma, as he is fouled by Summers and will go to the line for one more. Let's get our scoreboard. Okay, now they do put it up. Okay. There were a couple different, there was a late scoreboard change at one point in time in-house here that we had to get corrected to. Free throw does not go. And the rebound is down to the Bulldogs in Hungerford. What'd I say Friday? I'm running the camera, I'm running the graphics, I'm calling the game, I'm doing stats. If there's a problem, of course that means blame it on Chandler. O'Mara from mid-range. Got it.
Missed the three a second ago, but able to get mid-range shot right there. Lost the handle initially, jumps up, gets it himself, and able to get himself on the scoreboard.
Sias travels, it'll go back the other way. 4:13 in the fourth. Tyson Mann, Logan Stockwell, Quentin Hendrickson have checked out for the final time, wearing the white uniform, or at least wearing the white uniforms here for Grandville. Rest of the seniors getting their final play right here, including Drew Hungerford. What a big impact he has made. Multiple sports, made some great plays today in this one. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. But of course, Hungerford, the leader of Coach Stiegel's defense in terms of, a super intelligent kid. We had a chance to talk to him on our tailgate report as well. I think he said today down during the pregame festivities he's going to Michigan State to study engineering there. So again, proving how he's smarter than me at least. But super intelligent kid. You saw that the way that he ran the defense from the secondary for the Bulldogs this past fall. You see the plays he makes. When Coach Young needs kind of those quick minutes off the bench with smart plays, you know he's not going to turn it over. He's not going to make thrown away plays. And he's going to be a part of a March run. If the Bulldogs go on one, he's certainly, of course, going to have some minutes, Hungerford will, that are going to have to be critical for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, definitely is. A player that really sees the floor well is, too, I think, defense on the football field and on the basketball court as well. That I've been impressed with some of the times he's had some longer feeds down the floor. Always has his eyes up, helping his teammates, kicking the basketball out and get the offense moving.
All right, both teams in the bonus, but it's 2 at the line regardless here for Van Heetsma. 2 fouls now on Summers. Got the first. Dreisma checks in for Gavitt. It's going to be a long final 4 minutes, isn't it, Chandler?
It is, yes.
Van Heetsma got it. Got them both. I certainly don't think the Grandville seniors out there mind whatsoever if it is a long final stretch here in their final game at Vanderslice Gymnasium. Fight for this one will stay with the Bulldogs. Last touch by Van Heetsma.
A little curious to see. It's been Van Heetsma's having some issues with the Bulldogs all night long, and they're just having some words with Hungerford. He was, after the seniors earlier were having their moment at the center logo, he was scuffing his feet and just kind of making a statement there, and then just having some words on the floor with Hungerford. Not a call, and really just a quick acknowledgement from the official there that's going to be probably called if that happens again.
Van Heetsma, a guy that certainly plays with energy. Hungerford. It's going to be a foul on the floor. Hungerford will go to the line. Over 1-1. You almost have to just let it. Got the first. (67-39) with 3.5 to go. Van Heetsma feeding Dreisma, the sophomore, short. Ryder Haight got it. Oh, that was pure timeout from the Bulldog bench. And we're going to get some more substitutions and some more senior night moments. All right. So, now no one of the juniors and sophomores foul out because then that's going to create an awkward situation. But regardless, it'll now be the Bulldogs youth taking over, minus Cam Regneris, who's done for the evening. But again, a look at a little bit of what we can see in the future. We know Highborn and Heckman, of course, will be a part of the rotation next year for the Bulldogs. We've seen some of Landon Terry, seen some of Boston Postma, a good JV team as well that you have to consider. But all these pieces for Grandville kind of coming together, and we're going to get about 3:14 here to see how this entire group of non-seniors and underclassmen are able to operate right here with 3:14 in the final frame.
Good opportunity for these guys to get some minutes. Been working hard all season long, and some of them not seeing the floor a ton, but being a big part of this team's success to this point, and now getting rewarded with some playing time here. Going to get 3 minutes game action.
Postma pokes that one out. He'll stay with the Trojans. 3:04 to go. Final home game of the season for the Bulldogs. It's Byron Center on Thursday. It's the playoffs ever. Step back. Jacob Rodriguez got another one. He knocked down a couple tough shots, and the Trojans break the 40-point threshold. They got 42.
Rodriguez hit a 3 earlier. That one much more difficult. The step back had to get a tough angle on it, but able to get his second 3.
The extended part of the step back maybe wasn't needed. He made it more difficult, but it looks extra cool. That's what it's all about. 3 for Highborn from deep. No. Fight for this one on the floor. Held ball is called. A lot of effort and energy on this one. And it's Chapman at the bottom of the pile. And the alternating possession stays with the Bulldogs. I tell you what, I think Van Heetsma's little moment back a moment ago, I think is not going to get the Bulldogs youth to let up right here down the stretch.
No, it's definitely got the student section fired up, and I think it's also got a lot of the guys that were on the bench and saw what happened there very excited to try to make a moment here.
DeYoung. When Terry loses it on the post touch, and Wiersma has it. Chapman in the corner. And that one touched some of the stringing down, and the Bulldogs will get the possession with 2 minutes to go. All the seniors have cleared out. We're getting a little bit of a look at some of next year's of Bulldogs rotation here to close out the home regular season. Home season in general. DeYoung off the screen, can't get it to go. Brody Wiersma attacks, kicks. Rodriguez. He'll go to the line for 3, followed by DeYoung on the late closeout.
DeYoung just a step late to get out there. Nice kick out at the last second underneath the basket to have the open corner 3. I think that shot likely missing, and the foul coming well after the shot.
This group out here right now, and we certainly are not in a position to talk about next year when we still have all of the playoffs and even one regular season game left to go. But when you see this group and knowing Regneris is on the bench, and then you have Heckman, you have Highborn, we've seen some of Terry. I think it shows, yes, there are some huge senior pieces that Coach Young's team is losing this year, but it is not a complete, not a lost cause, of course, but you look at this team for next year, you look at this group out here, there's a lot of guys that if they grow a little bit in their game and in stature as well, this could be another really solid team that doesn't miss much of a beat. Rodriguez off the mark with this one. And here's Highborn. We've said it during the game, this is the number 1 kid I want to see come into his own for the rest of this season, but especially in the offseason and next year. The size, the silky, smooth shooting touch. I mean, if he puts it together, look out. DeYoung 3. Postma pokes the rebound out to Heckman. Another guy I think that's gearing up for a huge senior year, Corbin Heckman. Loses this one though. And Heetsma has not lost any of his effort down the stretch either. Drive from Wiersma on the reverse, and the rebound is put out by Corbin Heckman. 38 seconds to go, 70-44 Grandville. Going to turn into one of the higher scoring nights for the Bulldogs that we've seen all year long as well. Postma tries to tip that one. 3 from the corner. Brody Wiersma's got it.
Postma saw that pass at the last second, but just a step too late. Leaves the open 3. Wiersma knocks it down.
26 seconds to go. So Grandville will go to 13-8 on the regular season. Just 1 game to go. Boston Postma across for Hackman. DeYoung swings high bore. Postma. DeYoung with 14. Blocked and will go to the line. Jackson DeYoung, the junior, will get a chance to get his first points here. For TK, it'll be 2-19 on the season with the loss here tonight. One more chance for DeYoung here to get on the score sheet.
Bulldogs bench is ready to go crazy if this free throw goes in, I think.
Got it. Final 7 seconds. Wiersma. Over top of DeYoung. That will be all she wrote. Grandville closes the regular season, their home regular season, I should say, with a win 71-47. Dominant win over Thornapple-Kellogg on senior night for the Bulldogs, as both teams will go into the high five and the handshake line at the end of this contest. Grandville, 13-8 on the regular season. TK falls to 2-19. This is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency post-game show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Yes, a game that means a lot emotionally, winning on senior night, but to have the offense flow the way it did, for such a depth of scoring, for Tyson Mann to look so good, for Cam Regnier to look so good, yes, but also Stockwell with 11 is great. The rest of the team touches the ball, scores well. Highborn knocks down a couple of threes. You could really feel it from Grandville tonight. This was a nice flowing night coming off the grinding tough Rockford win. You got another chance to build some momentum on Thursday, but a good statement and a really good way to end your senior career for all these guys.
Yeah, a great way to finish out the home season here, and for a lot of these seniors too. But I think really the offense opening up as a whole, and each individually too. A lot of guys meeting right near their game average, and over a lot of the guys, some of the secondary scoring matching what they had been for most of the season. So you really up and down the lineup, a lot of really strong, impressive performances, and one that you hope continues as the season wraps up.
Senior night picture at half court as the Bulldogs pick up the win here tonight. A solid one, as they will have a tough one on Thursday, though. Still coming up, we'll have coverage on 6:30 Thursday, radio coverage from Byron Center of that one. Again, our final video broadcast of the year. Playoffs on the way. Not an NFHS school at Byron Center, so no video. And we will have coverage then. Grandville takes down Thornapple-Kellogg 71-47. Don't go anywhere. A lot more to get to here on the Bates Agency post-game show.
The 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas, the point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
And welcome back, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. 71-47. Grandville takes down Thornapple-Kellogg on senior night. Chandler, our scoring recap here on the Bates Agency postgame show.
All right, starting with TK, leading scorer, Van Hatesma, 13 points. Rodriguez, 9. Gavitt, 8. Then it was Pringer with 4. Dresma and Sias each with 3. Wiersma with 5. Bonema with 2. For the Bulldogs, leading scorer, Tyson Mann with 17. Cam Regneris with 13. Stockwell with 11. And then I'm just going to run you down because there was a lot of scoring in here rather than trying to organize this on the fly. DeYoung with 1. Hendrickson, 3. Hungerford, 2. Schultz, 2. Haight, 6. Summers, 4. O'Mara, 2. Heckman, 4. And Hybor, 6.
All right. Now it is time for our Centennial Securities Player of the Game. And you know that I'm going to wuss out right here when we're giving it. It is to the Grandville senior class. They collectively get the Player of the Game, mostly because everyone scored. It would be Tyson Mann. He was great. But, you know, Stockwell, of course, scoring so well. Right now, it's not a senior scored well. But you look at the rest of the team, all the seniors really came in. They contributed both, you know, off the bench and starting. Great. And a shout out to the Grandville seniors. They are our Centennial Securities Players of the Game here as they get a big senior night win.
Yeah, great night for the seniors all the way around. Able to get a lot of guys, the seniors out there in the starting lineup. They really controlled things from the start, set the kind of tone for the game. Sometimes when you run your seniors out there, then once you get the starters back out there, they're left with a little bit of a hole to try to dig out of. Not the case at all tonight. The seniors able to control things, set the Bulldogs up for success the rest of the night.
All right, it's Byron Center on Thursday. I have that one. CT is going to be gone for the next little bit right here. He'll rejoin us for the deeper part of the playoff run, of course. But CT, I guess I'll hand it over to you. You can kind of give us your thoughts right here. Byron Center next, coming off this win, the district after. Give us kind of some of your, maybe not prediction necessarily per se, but where do you think this Bulldogs team's ceiling is? Where do you think the playoff runs will? I mean, it's March on MGN. Starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I think, of course, this time of year anything can happen, and it's impossible to fully predict, but I think the Bulldogs looking pretty good going into the playoffs, right where they want to be. Of course, one more game and a tough one, a test. I think, there's a couple of different ways you can look at it. On one hand, you feel pretty good if you just were running into the postseason coming off this one and feeling pretty good. But the truth of it is you got one more game, and it's going to be a test, and so I think a good opportunity for them to kind of figure things out and run through one more really quality opponent before it's win or go home. And so I think the ceiling is definitely can be winning a district championship on next Friday night. They've got that potential. They've played close with a lot of teams. Hudsonville, one of the favorites in there as well. Of course, the rivalry there. Anything can happen in that one, but I think the matchup set up pretty well if the Bulldogs could seriously go on a run.
I mean, you're the third place in the OK Red. We saw the depth of the OK Red tonight. You're taking on a team that won 2 games in their conference, and you see the difference between a 2-win team in their conference like TK versus a team like Caledonia or West Ottawa or Jenison at the bottom of the OK Red. So you've already been through that gauntlet. You've beaten the top seed. The Bulldogs have had some great wars with Zeeland West. I can't even tell you the last time that they've played Holland, though, so that'll be a new matchup at the Dutch Dome. Is where that one, at least on the first schedule, is looking to be set to be played to open up the playoff night. So all of that up for grabs still. One last shout out, of course, to this great Grandville senior class of 23 for all they did in this program, and coming out with a senior night win, which always helps add to things as well. 71-47. Grandville takes down Thornapple-Kellogg. The Bulldogs win. We'll be back on the air 6:30 on Thursday night. We're also going to have the district championship game on the girls' side, which, by the way, we didn't even acknowledge yet. The Grandville girls beat West Ottawa last night. They got ZONS East tomorrow. Real good chance they may have Hudsonville in the district championship as well. But we will, regardless of the matchup, we're looking at having that district championship game on Friday from Zeeland West as well. So we'll see if it can kind of be all Bulldogs in district championships as well going ahead. So we're not going to stand there Thursday. We'll be on there Friday as well. For Chandler Timmer, for everyone at Michigan Sports Radio and Michigan Game Night, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. We'll see you all next time. Bulldogs win on senior night.